Hello everyone, this is Coach Michele coming to you live from Atlanta. Today's video is based on the weather. What do you do in inclement weather, especially for those of you that are not accustomed to having snow? Yes, snow. Texas. What? Especially, specific parts of Texas. So I just figured I would come on and give you some insight into some of the things that we have in place that may help you. So for those of you that don't know me, and this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, hello, and welcome. My name is Michele Williams, and of course, many of you know me by Coach Michele. I own multiple businesses specializing in home care, and I love sharing information to empower you guys and help you along your journey. So today's video, I'm going to jump right into it, is how to prepare, keep your caregivers safe, keep your employees as safe as possible, keep your clients as safe as possible, your patients, whatever you call your staff and your clients, wherever you are based on your region, right? And based on the type of business you have. It could be residents, it could be clients, it could be patients, it could be caregivers, it could be CNAs, it could be home health aides, whatever it is, just to make sure we're all on the same page. You are a home care agency owner. You send individuals out, your staff out, contractors out, employees out. And I'm using all these different terminologies, guys, because I get a lot of emails and messages. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that I'm talking to you. Yes, you. So I would say begin with creating an emergency plan, especially for weather. So you should have an emergency plan, for your business, but I want you guys to put together an emergency preparedness plan. First thing you're going to do is identify your clients. Put everyone in a different category. You can categorize as, A, B, C, D. You can say, low to moderate to high. You could say, whatever you want to use, right? So those are two examples, but you're going to put your clients in a category. One category may be they are bedridden. They can't, they're immobile. They can't do things for themselves. They may be paralyzed, just to give you an example, right? So all of those clients would fit into that category. And then you may have a category where, you're just doing companion services. You may have a category where you're assisting them with their ADLs. You may have a category where you're just running errands for them. You may have a category where you're just doing transportation, right? So you're going to look at your client base, your database of clients, and say, okay, where does this person fit? And then once you put them in a category, then next to it, you want to put, does this person live alone, or are they solely relying on you, your agency, your staff to come out and service them, right? And then that's going to be a high risk. So, this person is bedfast. This person needs us 100%. They live alone. They don't have family. That person is a priority versus someone where you're just simply providing transportation to doctor's appointments, running errands and things like that. So that would be on the low, and this person here would be on the high. So you want to think about, and while you're putting this together, you want to think about your caregivers as well, because if it's inclement weather, say there's a state of emergency, then your caregivers may not be able to get out to those individuals. So one of the things that we do after we identify each client and put them in a category, we want to look at their and know if they live alone, if they have family and things like that. Because if the person is total care, but his wife or her wife or husband lives there, or their daughter, or they have a circle of influence, they have church members, they have neighbors or whatever. You want to identify all of those things, because even though they're high risk here as far as the level of care you're providing, they may not be a priority because they have loved ones and family and a circle of influence that can actually help them out in a state of an emergency. Okay. And please jot down any questions you have or any clarification you need, because I'm trying to give you a lot of different scenarios, examples, and things like that. Right. So that person may drop down on the list, but you're still going to have them in that high risk category. But as far as when you're putting together the second part that I'm about to talk about, you may put them a little lower because they have that family, friend circle of influence. Right. And then once you identify, okay, this person lives alone, we got to make sure we figure something out for them. This person, lives with family member, and that person will be okay because that family member is going to be there with them, right? This person is totally okay. They can do everything themselves. They don't need assistance with activities of daily living. They are able to cook for themselves. Everything is good, right? So you break down your categories. So then you're going to look, after you put those two columns together, you're going to look and say, okay, who lives alone and needs help, a total care? And then you may say, well, coach, I still can't get to them. The weather's bad. First thing you want to do is look and see if you have any caregivers in that area, because you may have a caregiver that lives in the same complex. You may have a caregiver that's 1 mile away or something like that. You may have a caregiver that's within walking distance. So you want to identify those key elements, right? Those things that will help out while you're putting this together, where you're able to, serve the client. Caregiver may be able to still make some money, right? So you want to think about all the wins possible. And then you say, okay, I looked, there's no caregiver around. You want to identify, and you should be doing this in the very beginning when you start your business. You don't want to wait until an emergency and try to figure this out. So you will look and say, okay, what emergency, we all know we have 911, that's a go-to, right? But what other medical or organizations or shelters are in the area? So you definitely want to let say, okay, the fire department is a mile away, this is a mile away or whatever, and you may just want to reach out to them and say, hey, we have a client that we're servicing, and this is, with your local first responders. We have a client here. This client cannot be left alone throughout the day. At night, the client is home by him or herself. They're sleeping, or, it's 2 elderly people and one is blind, one is paralyzed. Whatever the situation is, guys, you want to let them know. So if it's a situation and we're without power for days, or whatever the state of an emergency is, and you can't get there, then guess what? 911 or the local, first responders will know, okay, we have these people in these areas. And a lot of times they know, especially if you have a client that's heavy, and if that client has a history of falling with you there or when you're not there, and you can't get that person up, or if they can't get up, then guess what? The local fire department already know. The local law enforcement already know, because they probably had to go there and get that person up. They probably had to go there to help get the person into an ambulance. So many different things, right? So they may be aware, but you want to put together, you want to know where, the local shelters are. What if you have to, your client is in an area that needs to be evacuated and they need to go to a safe housing or shelter, right? So you want to put together and just Google in your area. And so if you're in Cobb County, say shelters near me, emergency housing near me, emergency shelter near me, what is the number, right? Not necessarily 911, but what is the number to the local sheriffs, local precinct, local whatever it is when you're talking about your first responders, right? And then that way, what are the nonprofit organizations that help seniors or help individuals, or, what about any organization that you can think of that help the client that you're servicing, that help during a natural, FEMA. Is there a local FEMA office? So you want to do and find out all of those different things, and you put that list together, and you want to have that list in your office where it's readily available, because what if you're not at the office, but your staff is? You want to have it where, you have access to it, remotely. Your administrator or your, whomever is working with you in the office can have access to it remotely. You understand? And this is one, I'm not going to go into detail with this part, but this is one of the reasons why it's really important to have software. As far as home care software, one of the companies I recommend is CareTime. CareTime does a wonderful job. Their website, I think, is caretime.us. I recommend Joan. I don't have Joan's information off the top of my head, but if you jot down below and ask for Joan's information, I'll definitely give it to you. I know she's offering a special right now where you get a couple of months free or something like that. So if you want that information in regards to home care services, scheduling and software, your EVV and all of that, Care Time with Joan is a great resource. So threw a little commercial in there for her. So, and I'm downtown right now in my downtown Douglasville office. So you'll hear a train going by once in a while. So let me let that pass. Okay, so the horn is boom. Right. So so you want to make sure you put that list together, identify it, and then the third column is where you're going to jot down what services are available for you to reach out to for that individual, because each one may be different depending on the severity of the situation, inclement weather, state of emergency, whatever it may be. It may be different for each person. Now, if everybody in the city, the town has to evacuate, then of course it's going to be the same for everyone. It's just that as far as getting out, it's just that we got to put the priority for the people that cannot get out on their own and do not have family living with them. So hope this has brought some clarity to those of you that are experiencing inclement weather right now. Those of you that are not, I want you to prepare. I want everyone to prepare in advance so you're not caught off guard when a family is counting on you to provide services to their loved one, and guess what? You can't get there. So very important, guys. Do this. Definitely have it in your business. Hope you never have to use it. However, it is and will be available for you. So if you have any questions, jot them down below. If you have any questions about coaching, you're looking to start your home care business and you need some guidance, we would love to learn more about your situation. Check out our website at michelleleeellis.com. Michelle has one L, michelleleeellis.com, and you can learn about our services. Definitely check me out on Facebook at I Am Coach Michelle. Again, Michelle with one L. I'm always going live. I'm always sharing information. And also you can find me on Instagram at I Am Coach Michelle. So you guys take care. God bless. Don't forget to like and ring the bell. Click that little notification so the bell can ring every time I go live or drop a new video here. You guys take care. God bless.